Hello everyone, this is Dr. Captain K. Sujata, Professor of Mathematics, St. Joseph's College for Women, Autonomous Visakhapatnam. In this session, I am going to discuss the Cauchy-Euler equation part 2. Comes under linear differential equations with non-constant coefficients. Coming to the learning outcomes. After successful completion of this lesson, the student will be able to solve linear differential equations, solve higher order linear differential equations, both homogeneous and non-homogeneous with non-constant coefficients, solve the linear equation by using Cauchy-Euler equation, understand the concept and apply the appropriate methods for solving differential equations. In the previous session, we have discussed a Cauchy-Euler equation and its application part 1. So this is a Cauchy-Euler equation. So this we call it as homogeneous linear equation or Cauchy-Euler equation of order n. Right? So in this, d is a derivative, that is differential operator d by dx. So using the Cauchy-Euler equation can be transformed in a linear equation with the constant coefficients by change of independent variable with substitution x is equal to e power z is equal to log x are using these equation. These we call it as a Cauchy-Euler equation. So Cauchy-Euler form. So using these Cauchy forms, we have to do the sums. Continuation of the previous lesson. So after that previous lesson, this is another type of the problem. Solve x cube d cube plus x square d square into y is equal to 1 plus x square. Right? Now apply the Cauchy-Euler equation. We will get the f of theta is equal to theta cube minus 2 theta square plus theta. And this we call it as a cube. 1 plus e power z plus e power 2z. So this q we are going to use in for construction of the yp. Right? So after applying the Cauchy-Euler equation, then we have to find out the auxiliary equation f of m is equal to 0. So auxiliary equation, we will get this. This is a third degree equation. We'll get the 3 roots. So using the trial and error method, synthetic division method, we help find out the roots. So m values are 0, 1, 1. 2 repeated roots, 1 is independent root. If it is independent root, the formula is c1 into e power az. Repeated roots c2 plus e3z into e power bz. Right? So b value is 1. So this is the yc. Complementary function equation is this one. Now after getting the complementary function, then you have to find out the yp, that is 1 by f of d into q. Q is 1 plus e power z into e power 2z. Right? Simplify, split the function. So for each function, split this functional value to each function into 1 into e power z into e power 2z. Right? 1 can be written as e power 0z and e power z, e power 2z. Okay. Now here we can take in each term theta is a common. No? So this can be written as theta into theta minus 1 whole square. This each one. Right. So we have discussed in the last lesson. So if it is directly, if we substitute theta here, we will get 0. No. So we should not substitute here. The same way, if we substitute a value, here a is 0 in the first function, here a is 1, here a is 2. If we substitute a value here, we will get again 0 in this. If we substitute 2 value here, we will not get 0. So directly we can substitute 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 into 2 minus 1, that is a 1 square. So this is the last term will get same as it is. Whereas if we substitute direct a value in this, we'll get 0. So we have to apply this formula. In the last lesson also we discussed. So 1 by, so first of all, if you substitute in this, so theta you write down inside, you write down outside, and remaining you put it inside, then substitute 0 in this. See here, 1 by d minus e into 1 plus. So if we substitute in this, we will get 0 kada. So అందుకని ఇది బయట రాసేసి రిమైనింగ్ టర్మ్ ఇన్సైడ్ రాయండి. ఇక్కడ ఏ వాల్యూ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే విల్ గెట్ 1 by 2a into those who get which term if we substitute 0 వచ్చిన వాల్యూని లోపల ఇన్సైడ్ రాసి ఇప్పుడు సింప్లిఫై చేయండి. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఫార్ములా ఏ ఫార్ములా అప్లై చేయాలి? దిస్ ఇస్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ ఐ విల్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ఆన్ ద బోర్డ్. Once just go through. So already we discussed the last lesson. Even then I'm explaining. So here 1 by, so how to look this one, 1 by theta minus 1 whole square into e power 0 z ఉంది అంటే ఏ వాల్యూ 0 కదా ఇక్కడ. సో ఇక్కడ ఏ వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసి విల్ గెట్ 0 కదా. సో దట్స్ వై డోంట్ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ డైరెక్ట్లీ. సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ 1 by theta minus 1 whole square into e power z, రైట్. సో ఇఫ్ ఈ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ 0, ఇప్పుడు 0 సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే ఎంత వస్తుంది? 1 by theta minus 1 by minus 1 whole square into e power 0z, right. So means ante 1 by minus 1 whole square ante 1. So now again 1 by theta into e power z, right. So this is in the form of 1 by d minus a whole square. So d minus a whole square, d minus a whole square into e power a z. ఈ ఫార్ములా ఉంది అంటే మనకి ఈ ఫార్ములా ఏంటి? z to the power of r by r factorial into e power a z. So whereas here r is equal to 1 here, and a is equal to 0. A is equal to 0, right. A is equal to 0. Theta minus ఇక్కడ 0నే కదా. A is equal to 0, r is equal to 1. నువ్వు ఇందులో సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే ఎంత వస్తుంది? z to the power of 1 by r factorial అంటే 1 factorial e power 0z. Okay, so that is the formula, first one. See, so finally what will get? Z. So finally z. సో ఇక్కడ దీంట్లో ఇదేమవుతుంది? I'll erase this and again I'll explain, right. So for the second one ఏం చేశారు ఇక్కడ? 1 by theta మనం 1 ఇక్కడ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసి 0 వస్తుంది కాబట్టి అది మనం బయట రాస్తాం. theta minus 1 whole square into 1 by theta into e power z. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే theta minus 1 whole square, ఇక్కడ ఏ వాల్యూ 1 కదా, ఇక్కడ ఏ వాల్యూ 1, ఇక్కడ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తే 1 వస్తుంది. సో 1 వస్తే 1. సో ఇది యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్గా మళ్ళీ ఆ ఫార్ములా అప్లై చేస్తే z స్క్వేర్, ఇక్కడ r వాల్యూ 1 కదా, బై ఏ వాల్యూ 1 బై r factorial అంటే 1 factorial into e power a z అంటే e power z. So z square by 2 factorial, r value 2 kada. So z square by 2 factorial to e power z. Okay, so last one as it is, we are going to substitute 2 value in this. 2 into 2 minus 1 whole square, right. So that is about the particular integral simplification, right, using this formula, right. So after that write down the general solution. Coming general solution formula is yc plus yp is nothing but substitute those values, we'll get the general solution. Now coming to the next problem. So here also first of all take the general differential equation, write down the Cauchy form, auxiliary equation you write down. So we'll get the two roots using the auxiliary equation. You can write down the particular complementary function. After writing the complementary function, then write down the particular integral. So it is a product of the two functions. Ila unte then you have to add the e power a value, e power a z kada, a is 1, a ni ikkada add cheyali. So we'll get this, simplify this, then this is in the form of theta square. In the last lesson I discussed the same problem. There we added 2, we have added because a value there 2, ikkada a value 1 kabatti 1 add chesam. So this is in the form of, then apply the binomial, the formula undi kabatti binomial expansion apply cheste, this is in the form of దీన్ని రివర్స్ లో రాసుకోవాలి. ఇది ఎలా రాయాలంటే 1 plus x హోల్ ఇన్వర్స్ రాగా రాస్తే, సో ఎక్స్ వాల్యూ theta స్క్వేర్ అనమాట. ఫార్ములా ఏంటి? 1 minus x అంటే 1 minus theta స్క్వేర్ ఇంటూ z. ఓకే, సో ఎక్స్పాండ్ దిస్ 1 into z and theta square z అంటే 0. So e power z into z. Formula is, final value is e power z into z. Okay, after getting yp, then write down the particular integral. So after getting the particular integral, then write down the general solution, y is equal to yc plus yp. Okay, coming to the next problem. So apply the Cauchy Euler equation. In this we will get the auxiliary equation from that. So we'll get the two real distinct roots. So then write down the complementary function. After writing the complementary function, then write down the particular integral. This is a particular integral. Then write down the particular, after getting the particular integral, then write down the see in the particular integral, I like this another type. ఇక్కడ 2ని మనం యాడ్ చేయాలి. 2, this is in the form of e power a z into 2 into z. So this is in the, so 2ని మనకి theta add చేస్తే what will simplify that, we'll get this again using the same formula, binomial expansion, 1 plus x whole inverse, 1 minus x plus x square. So write down that pattern, we will get this, then simplify that, we'll get the particular integral. Then after getting the particular integral, then write down the general solution. This is another type. Write down the apply the Euler Cauchy Euler form. Then we'll get the auxiliary equation. All are the real and equal roots. So if it real and equal root, then YC formula is this one. Then after that, go to the YP particular integral. So particular integral here, see theta mani దీనికి యాడ్ చేసాం theta plus 3 whole cube, this one, right? So again use that same formula 1 plus x whole inverse formula. So this is a 1 minus x whole inverse and all will get positive. 1 minus x whole inverse is same. 1 plus x whole inverse means 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube. So use that formula, we'll get yp. Then after getting yp, then write down the general solution, right? So this is another problem. So write down the apply the Euler Cauchy Euler form. Then we'll get f of theta. This is the q. Then after getting f of theta, then find write down the auxiliary equation. So auxiliary equation, these are the complex roots. Then after getting the complex roots, then write down the complementary function. Then write down the particular integral. This is a particular integral cos z. 65 into 1 by theta cube plus 8 into cos z. So if it is a cos z, clearly I have given. If the function is in the is of the form of cos ax, right? See previous one, cos ax. So what is that? So here cos ax clearly I have given. So what I have given cos x, then we have to substitute theta square with minus a square. Here we are having cos z. So a is equal to 1, then therefore theta square అంటే -1 మనం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి. theta square place లో -1 square సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి. అంటే ఇక్కడ theta cube ఉంది కాబట్టి theta cube ఎలా రాసాము, theta square into theta, that is theta square into -1 substitute చేసే minus theta plus 8 cos z. So this is a 1 by theta minus a cos z. The function is cos z. Again we have to replace theta square. మళ్ళీ cos z లోనే ఉంది కాబట్టి మళ్ళీ దీన్ని theta square కింద కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలి. కానీ ఇక్కడ theta square లేదు. theta square ప్లేస్ లో -1 సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయాలి. కానీ theta square లేదు కాబట్టి రేషనలైజ్ చేస్తాం. రేషనలైజ్ డినామినేటర్ the above function, we will get this. Right, so rationalize this, we will get this. Up theta square plus la -1 substitute chese this one. So finally we will get theta plus 8 cos z. 65 gets cancelled. Theta ante differential operator kabatti just expand, then apply the derivative, right? From that we will get yp. Clear explanation clearly I have given. Then find out the general solution, y is equal to yc plus yp, right? With this, I'm going to conclude this lesson. So in this session, we have discussed Cauchy Euler equation and its applications, part 2. So Cauchy Euler form, this we call it as a Cauchy Euler form. So from that, Cauchy Euler equation can be transformed in a linear equation with a constant coefficient by change of independent variables. So we have to apply the Cauchy Euler form, this one. From that, we'll get the auxiliary function. Thank you. With this, I'm going to close. Thank you so much.